And we're here on Yale's old campus at LC 102, and Nick Sanchez and his brother Mark Sanchez just gave a great talk here to a filled room in Lindsay Chittenden Hall. And Nick, you're a Yale football player, alum, class of '95, and I want to ask you, you are your brother's agent, and you have other clients as well. How much do you feel being a football player yourself helps you with your clients? It seems like sometimes there can be some trust issues, and obviously you've got your brother, but just in general, how much do you think your football playing helps you in your current profession?
Well, I mean, I think it gives me an advantage compared to somebody who hasn't had any football experience. Oftentimes people and agents and marketing side folks, they get caught up with all these other aspects of a professional athlete. When you've played the sport, you know that at the player's core is playing football and succeeding on the field and getting to know the players and the coaches and the environment that he's playing in. If you have success there, you have an opportunity to have success elsewhere. It doesn't work the other way around. So having been a player, I know and respect the amount of time that it takes to be successful, and let the player focus on that and try to remove the other distractions potentially, even though it might cost you a few dollars. Maybe you make a few dollars less in endorsements, but you know what? You're in the film room, you're doing what you need to do, and ultimately that stuff will be there.
You know, we heard Mark talk about, he was quoting the Outliers, and I think for me it kind of struck me that, okay, here's a very famous, successful, just finished his rookie season quarterback in the NFL, and he's quoting Malcolm Gladwell. So it's clear that education is a priority there, and obviously was for you coming to Yale. What, thinking back, made you decide on Yale and reflecting on your Yale experience? How was it?
Well, it's interesting because I was the first person in my family to go to college. My father's a fire captain. I wanted to get into the fire service, and I was fortunate enough to do well in school and do well on my SATs and that sort of thing. And I played football, and we had a great season, a great career in high school. And the Ivy League was a place I thought I could still compete and play and enjoy it. I mean, I loved the game, and so it gave me a rare opportunity to still play football at a level I could be competitive, and at the same time earn a degree that's, hands down best in the world. So I was happy to do it, and as soon as I was admitted, my dad said, that's it, no more fire department business, you're going off to college, you're going to play some football, have a good time. So I really enjoyed it. So glad I did. It was a long way from LA, but enjoyed it 100%.
You played towards the end of Hall of Fame coach Carm Cozza's 32-year tenure as the head coach of the Bulldogs. And I was talking to him earlier today, and I said, is there any dirt on this guy? And he said, no, he was a great team guy. Please give him my best. Is there anything you'd like to tell Coach Cozza?
Well, I'd tell Coach Cozza, thank you for giving me an opportunity to play here. And one of the things I really enjoyed about Coach was that he always was concerned about us as players and student athletes, which was a core value to me and my family, and that was critical. And so I appreciated that. And he'd been doing it for a lot of years, but he never dropped off in his tenacity. I mean, he would still get after it. And I was with John Licarozza, one of the players in my class who's gone on to be a successful businessman, and he would tell me about Coach Cozza just, in racquetball and all these things. He was just tenacious and competitive, which I think all successful people have, and obviously Coach is a tremendous success. So mostly thank you to Carm and Coach Cozza for doing that.
Yeah, the rumor is no one ever beat him in handball. There was a static challenge and no one ever beat him. Did you try?
I wouldn't try because, and even if you did, you didn't want to say you did probably because he'd give you a knuckle sandwich or something. So.
We heard during the talk a lot of the benefits, and it's easy to imagine of, representing your brother and the inherent trust. Are there any drawbacks to having your brother for a client that might not be apparent to people?
Yeah, the difficult part is that sometimes you have to talk business and you have to go over things that are business related, and it takes time. And when you'd otherwise just want to know how your brother's doing, how his knee's feeling, you got to chew up some time talking business. So that, I guess, is really the only downside to it, that we can't just interact as brothers only. We have to have the business aspect. But I think it works well, and he knows and trusts that I have his best interest in mind, and I'll never, ever stray from that, because of our bond as brothers.
What would you give as advice to a Yale football player or a Yale student athlete or just a Yale student who might be watching this, who's, thinking about what they're going to do after college, and, how maybe you decide to get into being an agent and you pursued another degree first, but what advice might you have for people who are like, gee, I like this, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do?
Well, I was one of those individuals who didn't know exactly what I was going to do when I stepped on campus. And some people have that gift and have that calling. I was pre-med for 2 years and working through that and some econ, and ultimately was a history major who went on to law school. So I wouldn't I would tell a student or a student athlete to take some time and really think about what they're going to enjoy doing. You don't have to decide at a certain time in your life. In fact, I took 1 year off after college before I went to law school to do some things that I would otherwise not have had a chance to do, and mentor some high school students and work on a sport fishing boat and do all sorts of things and really help to determine which direction I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to work with athletes in some capacity, and so I've kept that kind of dream alive and never let that kind of fade. You know, you have something that you want to do. It might take a little bit of a road to get there, but keep that in the back of your mind and work towards it, even if it's behind the scenes.
My final question. What was your last time on campus before today, and what was the trip down memory lane like today and getting to show your brother around a little bit?
The last time I was here may have been my reunion, my last reunion. Mark's last time here was probably my graduation in '95, so he was just a little guy. I did take him to some of the hot spots where certain things happen, and were things I won't go into in this interview, some fun stuff. But I really enjoyed seeing all of the students out on old campus, and really remembered when the sun came out and it got warm in spring, how as freshmen we're like, oh, we can go outside, it's going to be a blast, let's throw the ball around and that sort of thing. So it was just fun to see that spirit is absolutely alive, so it was fun.
All right, well, we certainly thank you and your brother for coming today, and especially for bringing some of that Southern California weather with you today as the temperature reached well into the 80s. So thank you. It's been a pleasure, Nick. Thank you very much.
Thanks a bunch. I had fun.
All right, that's Nick Sanchez.